This is one of two videos that covers the team case study assignment. This video will focus on the rubric. You'll notice in the rubric that there are 4 areas you will be graded on: content at 40%, integration at 30%, writing or clarity at 20%, and spelling and grammar at 10%. For each area, you'll fall under one of 3 categories: proficient, competent, or novice. Let's go through what each one looks like. If you are proficient in content, it means that you've answered all 4 sections of the case study assignment thoroughly and very well. These 4 sections are facts, issues, solutions, and judgment. Recall that I gave you the case study guidelines and a worksheet earlier in the semester. That will guide you on what to cover in your case study paper. If your paper is considered competent, it means you've attempted to answer all 4 sections but didn't do a deep analysis of 1 or 2 areas. And novice would mean you've completely missed a section or your explanation is very brief. Integration has to do with how well you incorporate concepts from the book. A proficient paper in integration will have many key concepts integrated throughout the paper to support your ideas and claims. A well-formed key concept cites the key concept, defines it, and explains it in connection to the case study. A competent paper will have some key concepts, but might not have defined it thoroughly or explained it in a way that makes sense. And then novice means you've completely left out any integration of key concepts from the textbook or have simply inserted words without any explanation. Writing or clarity has to do with how well the paper flows together. This is particularly important since you have multiple writers on this assignment. The editor should help with improving writing and clarity by reviewing all the sections to make sure they flow together and make sense. A proficient paper will be very well written and easy for the reader to follow and understand. There's clear transition between ideas, and I know what to expect as the next section appears. A competent paper is pretty well written, but there might be some issues between the sections, like contradicting ideas or an idea that appears in one area but is not talked about at all in the rest of the paper. And then novice is where the reader struggles to understand what the paper is trying to convey because of poor flow, organization, or transition of ideas. Lastly is spelling and grammar. And here I advise you to use the spell check in Word, which will capture some of the spelling and grammatical errors, hopefully. But this is also where your editor comes into play. So a proficient paper will have 3 or less spelling or grammatical errors. A competent paper will have 5 or less. And novice will have numerous spelling or grammatical errors, and in some sentences be incomplete. In terms of errors, if you're making the same error multiple times, that only counts as 1 error, not 5 times. So, for instance, if you forget to include an apostrophe 3 times, that's 1 error, not 3. So hopefully that's helpful for you to understand what to expect in the rubric. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns.